Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, hello, welcome to another live stream. We are going to be starting this live stream just a few minutes early, so that way we are prepared and set up for when market goes live. Today is December 29th, 2025, and it is 7:15 my time. Market opens in about 15 minutes, but I want to make sure we're prepared for when market does open. And for some reason, doesn't look like you're getting, let's see here. Didn't look like you guys got my thumbnail, did it? Well, I guess the thumbnail doesn't really matter all that much. See if we can pop out this chat. This live chat is unavailable. What in the heck? It's weird. Let's see, downloads. Click on that one. Save. Let's see. Live. See if that works here. Markets are selling off, guys. As you can see, if you joined our Sunday Stock Talk, you would notice that this did happen. Okay, here we go. It's still working. For some reason, we're not getting a good thumbnail for our Discord, but that is really weird. I'll have to mess with that another time. But anyways, right now the markets are selling off. We did call this out in our Sunday Stock Talk. So it did surpass our 620 mark. It broke this 200 EMA on the 30-minute and it tried to retest to get back above and broke that as a support. It is now a resistance. So it is now at 619 in the pre-market. We're gonna have to break 617-ish to see this sell off even more. Now it could also bounce at 617 like it did on, what is that, Wednesday, 12/23. If it does, then we can get a lot more bullishness, a lot of more upward momentum if it bounces. If it breaks this as a support, then we can get some more selling pressure, and it has a long way to go. It can go down to 610, 605, even $600 where it previously was before. Now I want you guys to know that Bitcoin also is selling off in the after hours. We called this out in the Sunday Stock Talk. We said that, look, if it pushes up to 90,000, that we would short it, and it went all the way up to 90,300. It surpassed our alert and then immediately sold off once it hit 90,000. This was a great setup, a great play for Bitcoin. Went all the way down to 86,700. But again, bouncing off of that previous support. It likes this level of support. This is where buyers step in and it begins to push back up. So the trade plan was valid, but at the same time, we missed out on it because it happened in the overnight hours. MSTR pushed up to 163 overnight. It went above this moving average for the first time in a little while, at least since last week, but could not hold, got rejected, and sold off all the way back to 156, surpassing our alerts very quickly. Now I'd love to see this sell off more, but it doesn't have to. So we're going to reset our alerts to 155. To 156. I want to see some more selling pressure. That way we could trade MSTZ. Now MSTZ you know, beautiful move from $14.93, even $15, pushed all the way up to $16.30, resulting in $1.30 per share. If you bought in at 15, sold even at 16.30, $1.30 per share. Even if you sold at 16, $1 per share. Very nice move. You had 100 shares, you would have made $100. But right now, this is overextended. This isn't a position I'd want to take right off, you know, right when market opens, because we can get significant pullback. Now, if Bitcoin continues to sell off, just like I said, and if QQQ continues to sell off, then I would not mind taking a trade on MSTZ. But we have to wait and be patient because it doesn't look like that's happening. Right now on the 5-minute, looks like there's a lot of consolidation. Sometimes when there's consolidation, that means that it can push up and begin to have a reversal pattern. That means it's making lower lows, it's not making lower highs, it's not really doing anything. It's basically consolidating. And usually when that happens, when it consolidates, it either goes up or down. And then when it does move, this pushed up very nicely. We had consolidation, and then it begins to sell off. This was a nice little bounce with some consolidation, so we can see this push up, but I'd love to see this get rejected off of this moving average. Doesn't mean it has to, but it is definitely possible. So it says strategy buys 109 million worth of Bitcoin during holiday week. This was 6 minutes ago. He bought 1,229 Bitcoin, totaling 108,000 for an average price of 88.5. 88.5. So he's buying it at 88.5, and this was 6 minutes ago. So we'll see what happens if it actually affects this price at all, because it doesn't look like it did. So he bought the dip, whereas many people will be buying the dip as well. But just because Michael Saylor's buying it doesn't mean that this still isn't bearish. It's getting rejected off of the 200 moving average. Every time it comes up to this level, gets rejected, comes up, gets rejected. And remember, Bitcoin was at 126,000. So it's risky to bet against Bitcoin because it could push up so much. But also it's risky to go long on Bitcoin because it's had a very strong trend of selling off. I want you guys to be aware of that. So now let's see, Michael Saylor, or MSTR, has a total Bitcoin holding of 672,500 tokens, valued at 50 billion, with an average price of 74,997. 74.9. So let's just say 75. He has an average share price of 75,000. So if this thing goes below this yellow line, we can see him getting a little bit anxious, a little nervous, because he'll be right back to break even on $50 billion, right? Wouldn't you be a little bit nervous as well? So this yellow line is break even for Michael Saylor. And I'm excited to see what happens. All right. You guys can always join our live stream. Actually, that's weird. Why is this happening? Oh, did I do private? I meant to do unlisted. So refresh your screen, and then you'll be able to comment and stuff in the live chat. That's my bad. Go ahead and just refresh your screen. I'm glad we figured it out now that we're actually live and not later. I'm all scratching my head trying to see why this is happening. Yeah, just refresh your screen for me. And that's probably what happened with the, yeah, there we go. actual link I shared. So it is a very short week. The markets will be closed on Thursday, January 1st. But for having news 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago now, it doesn't look like it's moved very much, but we could see some more buyers step in because it's going to build some buyer confidence with Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean this thing has to spike up. It could literally get rejected right now and begin to sell off. Bitcoin is beginning to push up, so I do not want to trade against the trend. And QQQ is kind of just consolidating here at this level. So we got 5 minutes till open. And again, our trade setup was valid for our Sunday stock talk. You can go back and watch that. That is a weekly live stream we do, not only to our LTE members, but to the public as well, for our YouTube account. But at the same time, I'm not trying to force a trade that was there and is no longer valid. Now, it was valid. We could have made some decent money, but I also wasn't trying to take a trade overnight and be sleeping and then it turn against me. Sure, I could have had a stop loss set, but at the same time, it just didn't make any sense to me to take that trade overnight while I was sleeping, right? Because this happened at 10 o'clock last night. And that's if you could even trade it in the overnight hours. And you can go to buy, you can go to trade. Let's see if I could show you that. You can go down here to trading hours and then go from regular, include extended, or even overnight trading. If the company offers 24-hour trading, you'll have 24-hour trading buying power. But that's not something that I wanted to do last night, so. Actually, it doesn't look like you guys can even see that. So let me fix that real quick. We'll come down to here. There you go. Now you can see it better. Oh, and we need our level 2 market data up. So let's drag this up as well, so we could see exactly where it's trading at. In STZ, people are going to start buying around 1580s for another pump up. That'd be nice to see. MSTR pushing up, Bitcoin pushing up as well. But yeah, this is what I was talking about right here. Trading hours. You could include extended, you could do regular, and you could do overnight trading hours on WEBULL. So if you like that, you're interested in joining WEBULL, definitely use my link. First link in the description, or not first link. It is I think it's the fifth link, and you'll earn 75 free shares. I even pinned it in the comment section today. It is a pinned comment in the live chat. Why join WEBULL and not get anything out of it? If you join with my link or someone else's link, you will get 75 free shares, and that's free money, guys. Free money to start your trading journey on WEBULL. I remember when I joined, I actually got around, I want to say it was close to $120 in free shares. I waited for them to settle for about 3 days. Once they settled, you can sell all of them and cash out, take the money out and use it, or you could just have $120 in your WEBULL account on top of whatever you put into your WEBULL, and you could use it to trade with. And that's exactly what I did a few years ago. Okay, market opens in just a couple of seconds here. MSTR, I'd love to see if this pushes up with Bitcoin and what happens with the overall QQQ. So here we go. Market opens. 3, 2, 1. And there it is. Let's see what it does. Synex selling on. Love to see some more selling pressure here. Sound bouncing off of 1040. I wouldn't mind getting into sound at this level, but if the markets are going to sell off, that's not something I'd want to do, especially Nvidia selling off below its moving average. So yeah, I would not get into sound right now. It's had a great risk to reward, but not if, Nvidia begins to go down as well with it. QQQ, it is down 0.7% from Friday's high, so not bad. Looks like it's consolidating to the point where we could see this push up a little more. It may sell off though, and it also may push up, so we're just being patient here. Bitcoin looks like it is above this moving average, so MSTR could do two things. It could follow Bitcoin, and it could also follow the overall NASDAQ. It looks like it's doing a great job by following Bitcoin slightly. We are not trying to give away any money today. It's our first trading day of the week. It's all about being patient and understanding the value of each trade, having a good risk tolerance, and making sure we do our part by keeping our money, right? We're risking about $10 or $20 when we do take a trade to make anywhere from $50 to $100 to $200. The only thing we can control is our risk. We can control how much we are willing to risk. We cannot control how much we can make. We could have a good idea about how much we'd like to make, but at the same time, we can't control it. Bitcoin could shoot up. Everyone's getting on. They're seeing the news that Michael Saylor bought another $109 million worth of Bitcoin. I could actually share that news article with you as we watch Bitcoin react to this news. MSTR right here, December 22nd through 28th, he bought 108 million for an average price of 88.5. He had 672,500 tokens worth $50 billion, and his average price is just a couple dollars shy of 75,000. So I'm very curious to see what happens. MSTR is in the green. It is up 1%. I'd love to see some strong rejection here. Bitcoin is pushing, right? Let's see how high up it can push, and then we're going to trade the reversal, because this can't pump forever, right? We need to see some movement here on the 30-minute. There's a lot of volatility, and there's a lot of range, right? Buying from 86, selling at 90 for Bitcoin. Same with MSTR. A nice little range here, up to 163, even up to 170. Sure. Let's push it up to 170. I hope it does. I hope it gets overbought and overextended, and then it offers a nice reversal setup back down to these lows, which means we could buy MSTZ again at $13, $14 compared to 15. So we are being patient. We are doing our part by being patient. And it can also happen very fast. We can see a huge rejection right now at this period. But again, we're not trying to force it. QQQ still consolidating and holding very well at this level. We need to see a big push up or a big push down. Where is my, we're just going to put it right there. There we go. So it needs to pass this moving average around 620 to get some more upward momentum, or get below 618.90 to get some more downward momentum. Open pushing up nicely. Bull. Everything's just kind of following the market right now. Everything's pumping up for no reason at all. Lunar LUNR would be a nice move. But could push back up to 17, making about $2 per share. It's already up 3% on the day. We're just waiting to see what potential is here. We talked about Intel. We talk about all these companies on the Sunday Stock Talk, so definitely consider joining. I think what I'm going to do also is share this link again with the Discord. Could potentially be a bear trap. And go ahead and paste. QQQ, pushing up. It is pushing up. We could see a bear trap or potential for it to push up higher. NASDAQ is pumping up. Yeah, this thing is being dumb right now. There we go. That's what we want. Nope, still isn't doing it. That's very weird. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to click this one just to make sure it's working. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Just being a pain in the butt today, I guess. Yep, there we go. QQQ pushing up. That means Bitcoin should be pushing up as well, very nicely. Let's see if we can get above this 88 or if it's going to get a rejection. Now it's funny, it doesn't say anything about Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin on this chart. You'd think it would actually mention it, but it doesn't. That's so funny. Which means MSTR is pushing up. It just touched, what, 163 just now, and now it's getting rejected. I wouldn't mind getting in at 15 for MSTZ, but not with this pump with Bitcoin. Let's just wait and see what happens, because again, Bitcoin could go all the way up to 90 again. Love to see this push up just a little bit higher. On the 30-minute time frame, looks decent. If it has a little bit more buyers step in, we could see this push up to 165, even 169, and then we can short, right? But I'm not seeing that just yet. I am curious though, I'd love to short it. Would not mind shorting this and buying MSTZ. Getting rejected off of that 200 moving average on the 5-minute. It's trying to push back up into the green, but having trouble now. Showing signs of an overbought reversal. But we could see some more buyers step in. Just being patient, doing our very best to be patient and wait for a clear sign of direction. Bitcoin curling slightly the same way that the overall NASDAQ is. What you don't want is to get into a bad trade thinking that it's going to push up and then it actually sells off even more, okay? Sometimes we miss those opportunities, but if you really think about it, we probably missed hundreds of thousands of opportunities in the past, which only means there's hundreds of thousands of opportunities in the future. There's no point forcing something that's not there because you want it to happen, right? The best day traders are proactive and reactive. They're not people who wish and want and force things to happen. We just go with the flow. Hopefully we take a trade today and make some money, but at the same time, we're not losing any money right now because we're not even in a trade, so we're just waiting. Looks like QQQ may push up a little more. Oh, we got another red candle here. Big red candle for QQQ and Bitcoin. STR trying to hold. Even $14.96 or $15, up to $15.50, 100 shares, right there would have been 50 bucks. But again, there's no way of knowing that that would have pushed up or not. It looks like it's trying to get a second wind. It's trying to push up a little bit more. Bitcoin also trying to push up, at least holding at this level. So we're just being careful, we're being patient. Looks like QQQ is going to take another leg back up. Here we go. Now there is a lot of consolidation. Usually when there's consolidation, there's a change in direction or there'll be another leg up. But consolidation is where buyers and sellers are battling. This is a battleground right now. Shorts are trying to short, longs are trying to keep it up, and it's creating this little battlefield here to where we'll get a breakout. We'll get a breakout either above or below. And I'm excited to see which part happens. Very excited to see what happens here. A lot of consolidation on QQQ right now. Bitcoin, same way, right? We can draw that rectangle here. And we're just waiting for a break. Break below, break above. And I'm trying to get $1 per share, not 10 cents or 20 cents or 50 cents. I'm not trying to waste a trade and lose money or break even. I'm trying to take a trade when it makes sense, when direction is clear. Okay, QQQ is coming back down. This actually could be a bit bigger of a range here, right? Hasn't broken that structure just yet. Nvidia takes a big plays a big factor as well. If we could hold above this moving average, great. But if we can't, then it will continue to sell off. And Nvidia, of course, is a $4.5 trillion market cap, so it definitely influences QQQ a lot, because QQQ's holdings are mostly tech companies, and I believe Nvidia is its top holdings. You could actually take a look at that right now. QQQ holdings by weight, and this is usually updated pretty frequently. They will add companies, and they will take companies away when they see fit. Looks like Nvidia is 9% of its holdings. Apple is 8%. Looks like the NASDAQ market is curling over. It did break that structure, which means Bitcoin could technically fall as well. MSTR is not doing a lot as far as reacting, but QQQ is actively selling off, which is great to see. I'll show you the holdings here so you can see that what I'm talking about. Nvidia is 9% holding. QQQ is holding 9% of Nvidia, 8% of Apple, 7% of Microsoft, 5% of Amazon, 4% of Tesla. So when these companies sell off, QQQ sells off. When they go up, QQQ goes up. I want you guys to understand that. There we go. It broke structure, but now it's retesting right here. If we get a break back below, we'll retest 618, and then we'll be looking pretty nice as far as potential. See how it got rejected right off of that moving average? We talk about moving averages all the time. It gets rejected off the moving average, we could see some more selling pressure. If it gets above that moving average, we can see it hold, and it could begin to go up. Bitcoin not doing much. MSTR holding also. Now MSTR is funny. It'll go up when the market goes up and barely go down when it goes down. It'll push up when Bitcoin goes up, but barely go down when Bitcoin goes down. We need both Bitcoin and the markets to sell off for MSTR to sell off with it. That's just the way MSTR is. It can be a little frustrating at times, but it'll have a huge swing up and it'll barely sell off at all when it comes to MSTR. And that's what it's all about. It's about being patient, getting a great setup, a great risk to reward. If we got in at 1577, we'd now be down $70, just wishing and hoping to break even. Instead of potentially buying at 15 and then pushing up to here, that'd be a $77 profit. Even buying at 15, if we zoom out, this goes down to $13 or 14, you're down 100, wishing and hoping it goes up. So let this sell off so we can get a better average share price, so we're not wishing and hoping, so we're not in a bad position of figuring out, well, do we sell? Do I take this loss? Do you think it'll recover? And that creates a lot more emotion to where now you're, really fighting your emotion instead of even trading. You're not even trading anymore. Your trade plan's out the window. It could go down lower because now you don't want to take a small loss. It turns into a huge loss where you were down 10 or 20 and you move the stop, and then you're down 50 and then you're down 100, to where you could be down $200, $300, $400, and now you're really nervous. You're like, it's got to recover, and then you're to the point where you sell and it recovers, full recovery back to break even, and then you beat yourself up, and then you tell yourself, you're a bad trader, you don't know what you're doing, and that takes a lot of people out of the stock market. So how do you prevent that? Simply don't take a trade at all. Follow your trade plan. If your trade plan isn't the best and you lose those $10, $20, that 1 or 2%, then let it happen. Do not lower your stop loss. Do not get into the trap of continuing to lower that loss, lower that loss, lower that loss. And that's what I've learned through time trading in the stock market. It's happened to me before, and it can happen to you. And we do not want that for you. Here we go, a lot of choppiness here. MSTR, I'd love to see this pull back, but at the same time, there's a lot of potential for it to push back up. You can come back down to the moving average and retest it and then bounce. I've traded this setup before where it'll do exactly that. Where MSTZ could pop all the way up from here to 16 and then sell off. It actually happened this day right here. It sold off. I bought it 14, pushed up to 15.50. I sold, and then it came all the way back down. It happened this day too, from 12.70 to 14. Nice dollar per share, and then it gave it all back because Bitcoin had a huge rally. I mean, we're talking huge. Let's go back a little bit. It was this day right here. Sold off, huge rally. Sold off a little bit, huge spike back up. Sold off, consolidated, huge spike up. Just as fast as it can go up, it can go down. And we're just doing our part by making sure that we are waiting for that confirmation. Looks like Bitcoin is curling over. It is curling over, it is selling. This could be a bear trap. There we go. Getting some selling pressure here. So it did break its structure, it did break that horizontal pattern and that range. It is now selling or selling off from that range. QQQ, it is below that moving average. It is coming down, but it can recover just as fast. So still being patient here. Broke that structure of consolidation. Looks like it's selling off. Bitcoin coming down. So 163 looks like a strong resistance right now currently. A lower resistance from 170, 169. That doesn't really mean anything, right? You could run up right past it. Let's see if Bitcoin holds here and begins to push, or we get more selling pressure down to that moving average. Same with QQQ. We need this to sell off a little bit more. Retest this and begin to sell off. There we go. Let's see what happens. We're not missing out on anything right now. Again, about half. Back to 1553. There we go. Bitcoin is selling off. QQQ. Potentially selling off as well. Still being patient though. It's above this moving average. It can act as bullish. It's done it before. Do you see this? Pushes up, retest, pushes up, retest, pushes up. We may have to wait for this to go below the moving average before we trade it, because this can push right back up if it bounces off of that level. We may miss out on another trade opportunity, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. See, look at that QQQ right back above the moving average. And remember, MSTR moves with both. I guarantee you MSTR is pushing up right now because QQQ had the smallest little push. It's holding very well. Look at all this consolidation. $15 to $15.50 would have been nice, $50 per share. But again, we want to make a little more than that. And we don't want to get caught with this selling off even more. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this line here for now. MSTR also, I'm gonna get rid of that line. We know where those levels are. We don't need to clutter the screen up. Bitcoin, potential bounce here. Really think I should copy the chart and then have it over here, honestly. That way I don't have to keep going back and forth and looking at whether it's going up or down. We are currently seeing ranges right now, right? It doesn't have to sell off. Oh, shoot. Let's do group 1. Group 2. There we go. So now I'll be looking at QQQ on my other screen here. You can still see your messages and comments and stuff when you put them. Actually gonna put this over here. Yep, perfect. And remember, it's trading within a range, so this range doesn't have to sell off. You know, just like with QQQ, it doesn't have to sell off. It's trading within a range right now. Between 618 and 622, it can literally chop all day long in this range. So we need to see a break of pattern around 618 or 622. We need to get below 618 for more selling pressure, or above 622 for more buying pressure. Same with Bitcoin. It's trading within this range, right? You guys see the range? Everything seems to just be floating. This is what we want. We want Bitcoin to sell off aggressively or push up aggressively, so that way we can get a sell off later. But this big move already happened. This was an overnight move, and a good move at that. Pushed all the way up, starting at, you know, what, 6 o'clock last night, 6:30, pushed all the way up to 90,000 by 9:30, so 3 hours of pushing. And then at 9:30 got rejected and sold all the way off by 5:30 this morning. So pushed up in 3 hours, and it took 7 hours to sell off. Pushed up this morning, and now it's selling off. MSTR is selling off. MSTZ pushing up, so it could be another opportunity missed. But again, better safe than sorry. This can bounce right off of this level and push up. That's what we don't want. QQQ is currently dropping now. I wouldn't have mind trading it right here at this level. Has it pushed down, getting rejected. But at the same time, I've been in too many positions where it just pushes up. Okay, Bitcoin is below that moving average now. Man, that would have been a nice move. 70 cents per share. I keep switching over when I could look over like this. Now MSTR could push up a little more. QQQ is still holding at those levels. It's getting rejected off of the moving average, but still holding at around 620 support. Bitcoin also could begin to push up. QQQ waiting to get more selling pressure. Would have been nice to buy at these levels though. We would have already been up 70 bucks. QQQ selling off. And Bitcoin selling off. So we are going to take 50 shares here. It took a little long to enter today. Took a little too long to enter today. Buying at 1560s, looking for that break above. Would have been nicer to buy at 15, but that's okay. Bitcoin in the overall market getting rejected again. Nice rejection here. But we are still waiting for break of structure here, okay? QQQ could run all the way back up, or it can get rejected. The more you convince yourself that it has to, the less that it will. Bitcoin selling off, nice rejection. Okay, here we go. QQQ is trying to push up here. Solid reversal on this area. And I even talked about it coming down to touch the moving average. Not only the 45 EMA, but if it broke that, it would come down to the moving average. Solid sell-off. MSTR from 163 to 159. Solid sell-off. That was a 2.5% sell-off, which means MSTZ pushed up already 5% today. 5% what we've already missed out on. Our trade setup was there, but we just did not take it again. Now again, this can push up. There's a lot of consolidation. We can see buyers step in and it can push up again. So we're trying to be patient here. I am looking at QQQ on my other screen. Still getting rejected, but again, consolidating. Consolidation changes direction. Consolidation changes direction. Consolidation, does it change direction to the upside now? Or does it sell off more? I'd love to see more selling pressure, but it doesn't mean it has to happen. There we go. QQQ is selling off. A little bit more selling pressure from QQQ. A very light position. It's only 50 shares. We're up $5. I'd love to be up, of course, a lot more. And if it plays out, we could see a nice $50 to $100 if I add to this position. Let's get another leg down. Yeah, that was a very beautiful trade setup right there. QQQ selling off. Let's see everything take another leg down. I would not mind adding 50 shares to this. Either adding it with the break below, or waiting for it to push up and then adding. Again, MSTR will push for no reason at all. It'll probably push all the way back up just from Bitcoin simply having this small little candle here. Same with QQQ. The smallest candles can make this rally. And I wouldn't mind buying 50 shares down here at 15, because then I'd have like a 15.30 maybe, 15.30 average share price if it does happen. But yeah, we could already been up. If I was aggressive, bought 100 shares, we could have already been up $84 today, and I'd be locking in profits. QQQ trying to sell off more. Here we go. Let's see the drop on QQQ. Check it out. Looks like it's going to be selling off a little bit more. I'm going to add 50 shares here. And let's run this up. It's a little bit high. We could have already been up $70, $80 and then pushing even more. But I'm not trying to focus on that right now. Looks like Bitcoin is going to sell off a little bit more. A lot of consolidation though. It's now 8 o'clock my time. Market's been open for a little more than about 30 minutes, 37 minutes. QQQ actively dropping. Bitcoin is holding. Love to see it break this structure here of about 87. Or if it breaks this area, then we'll get some more buyers step in. Yeah, that was a beautiful move. Nasdaq market is pointing down. We can maintain this. We can see this is beautiful. I don't know why I didn't take this trade. It broke and got rejected right off of this level. I mean, I've been burned before. Look, it's gotten rejected off of this and then pushed up. I mean, it's happened. But looks like it is getting rejected off of that level, which is great. That would give me plenty of sentiment to take the trade. Bitcoin, of course, curling over, breaking that structure of its rally. But I've been trading for too long to know that sometimes when it's too good to be true, it is. And a lot of times it'll find any reason to push up. Shorting is not something beginners should do. Nasdaq market still dropping. Trying to do a good job by holding 1620, but it's not now. It's at 1619. It did break that 1620 support. Bitcoin going to come up and retest this moving average. So let's see if it gets rejected or if it's going to rally. And then if it rallies, we got to make a decision. Do we hold? Or do we potentially just cut our losses and say, you know, this trade did not go according to plan. We got in too late and it also didn't play out further than we wanted. We'd have loved to see this push up to 1670 because we have 1570. So we're talking $100 still potential. It looks like we are seeing some support here at 619. Bitcoin looks like it may rally above the moving average. MSTR seems to be moving along with QQQ more than anything. So QQQ is selling off, Bitcoin pushing up. Okay, active sell-off on QQQ. Look at this. Down to 619, more selling pressure. Tested this a couple times and got rejected. 5 minute, it is a support though. 619 is a possible support level on the 5 minute. Could see this technically shoot all the way back up. Bitcoin pushing up. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Right, QQQ selling off some more. Testing 619, 619.30. Bitcoin not pushing up as much as it'd like. Big red candle from QQQ. Big solid red candle here. Love to see a break of 619 down to 618. Doesn't have to happen, but that would be a nice move. Go, Bitcoin sort of curling over here. Do you see that? Yeah, that was a beautiful move right there. Gonna hold just a little longer here. I want to see another big drop down. Now Bitcoin pushes up. We can see this push all the way back up to 88, even 90. Okay, I want you guys to be aware that this is a very risky trade. QQQ still selling off. Bitcoin pushing up. QQQ selling off. MSTR's in the middle. You guys can see what I'm looking at here. See that? 1, 2, 3, now 4 times touching this imaginary support. And it looks like it's going to drop. It's going to break that support. We just got one more support here at 618.90. 618.90. It just hit 1619 or 619. I am looking at this on my other screen. We'd like to see a lower low today, or it could just trade within this range. We talked about it. Excuse me. And this could push all the way back up to the moving average and all the way back up to the previous high. Here we go, Bitcoin with a big push. Do not like this. Do not like this at all. Big green candle here. QQQ has a big green candle. Looks like QQQ is starting to show signs of a reversal here. You can see it's pushing up, bouncing off of 619. That's what I'm looking at on the other screen. Bitcoin also pushing up, nice little reversal pattern. MSTZ not moving as much as we'd like, or MSTR. Both of them are kind of just flat right now. Everyone kind of waiting to see what the market's going to do. So a little more push from Bitcoin. So instead of buying here, we literally bought here looking for a continuation to the downside. Right, that breakup pattern, changing direction. Looks like MSTR is still going to sell off though. Big sell off by MSTR. Up $7. Love to see it sell off more and make a lower low, but does not look like it's going to happen. NASDAQ pushing up now, QQQ selling off, MSTR is selling off. We're up $8, which is nothing, but it's not red, I guess. NASDAQ is beginning to recover here. Bouncing off of 619. Let's see what happens. Do we get a lower low? Or do we get a higher high? Same with Bitcoin. See this continue to sell off. That'd be nice. Nice to see here. Man, that was the trade though. This period right here was the trade. But again, buying at 15, it could have went down even lower. It could have went from 15 and then simply went down to 14 or 13. So it's all about being patient. I bought it when it was above this moving average, and that's all that matters. Making sure that the trade makes sense to you. Here we go, we're almost up 1%. NASDAQ still getting rejected here. Bitcoin getting rejected. Love to see MSTR break that support. Break that support and come down to 155. Even up to 1630, that'd be a nice $55. Okay, Bitcoin coming back down. Big red candle. Come on. Take MSTR down with you. QQQ about to retest the moving average here. See what happens. Does it get rejected off the 45 EMA? Does it push back above to retest the 200 MA? See what happens. That's what we're looking at right now. Nice red candle there for the moment. Bitcoin also making a lower low. MSTR is coming back down. Up almost 1%. I may just have to take a 1%, guys. Again, missing out on literally $100 right here. See this thing get rejected. QQQ right now is testing that moving average, right? That's what my alerts are doing. It's testing it. If it breaks above, we can get some more buyer step in, more bullish sentiment. And if it gets rejected again, we can get another low. And that's what we want. I want to see a rejection here. I'm looking at it on my second screen. Bitcoin trying to hold. Got a 1% stop set, so the most we could lose is about 10 or 12 bucks. And I could adjust it accordingly. Nasdaq market just holding. And there we go. QQQ is going to push up. It is trying to find any reason to go up. Bitcoin slightly selling off. And this thing could actually get rejected and then come right back down. But it's had a pretty good sell off for right now. It is below the moving average. I'm gonna get out of this trade here. My risk management was off. I would have actually got stopped out right there. And markets can sell off. I want you guys to see this right here. You see this? It's pushing up. Nasdaq market looks like it's trying to push up again. It can retest this area and get rejected. That's what I'm probably going to be waiting to see here. Could be a bull trap. People thinking it's going to go up and then it just flushes. Now down 10 bucks. I was up 15, down 1. MXTR pushing slightly. Down almost 1%. This has a lot of room to push up. If it really wants to, there's a lot of room. Bitcoin selling off a little more. Yep, it's above that 45 EMA right now. Bouncing right off of that level, 86. I feel like the second I sell though, it's gonna push up. Markets are gonna sell off, Bitcoin is gonna sell off, and then and then I'm gonna miss out on this trade. There we go, more selling pressure here from both QQQ and from Bitcoin. Nasdaq is trying to curl over. I'd love to see this sell off more. Doesn't have to, but there's not as much momentum pushing up as I'd like to see. And it could literally bounce right up as we're speaking, or it can curl over and make a lower low. Same with Bitcoin. Not as much momentum to the upside. Consolidating. Trying to be patient here, waiting to see what happens. A lot of consolidation on QQQ and Bitcoin again. Either we're going to get push above or push below. I'm going to get ready to finish up here. Been live for a while now, actually. For an hour. Okay, Bitcoin coming back down. QQQ just consolidating here. Love to see it sell off some more. Let's get one more leg down here. It'd be nice to see. One more leg down. Come on, let's get some more selling pressure in here. All right, I'm not really liking what I'm seeing here, guys. A lot of consolidation. Yeah, I'm not really liking this choppiness at all. I'm gonna go ahead and increase this. QQQ selling off again. Bitcoin and QQQ trying to push up. I think I'm just going to get out of this one. There's just a lot of consolidation. So it goes down to 1562. I'll be down like 10 bucks, which is very manageable. Another consolidation to where it's going to push up or it's going to push below. Basically, I have another one of those rectangle patterns here, right? You need a break above or a break below. Same with QQQ. Seen another little range pattern here. And it looks like it's going to break above. Big push up from QQQ. And Bitcoin. There's that breakout they were looking for. Okay, we get it. We get it. We get it. Missed chart not really moving as much though. Bitcoin pushing up, breaking out of that little pattern. QQQ pushing up, breaking out of that pattern. And there we go. We're out. Yeah, the move was down here. That beautiful reversal setup was down here. 15 to 1580. $80 for that trade. We tried to buy the break above, right? And we could get a retest here. And it could still push up, but just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. This was that beautiful trade right here. Consolidation, sold off, pushed down. Again with this one. And QQQ. A lot of consolidation with some big selling pressure. So that is our live stream for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Appreciate your time, and we will see you all in another live stream tomorrow morning. Have a great day.